All right, we are recording. Thank you guys so much for hopping on the call tonight. We're talking about Amy's going to open us up tonight, but we're talking all about chaos management and minimizing the chaos in your business and how to do that while still living your best life. So Amy's going to kick us off tonight. So Amy, take it away.
Yes. Hey guys, thanks for being on. I'm loving the Monday Masterclass. If you guys missed the previous 2 weeks, this is kind of our September business refresh that's going to take us into the new year. We already did a mindset makeover, finding joy, and there was an awesome power hour last week. So I just wanted to remind you guys to go back and watch those recordings if you hadn't. Tonight though, and listen, we're going to get into some business topics here in the coming weeks, but Sarah and I knew that one of the foundational things we all need is chaos management, all right? And this is going to go way beyond just putting stuff in a planner, because we all live in chaos, and our success in our business is how we manage that. You know, it's funny, I have lived in an RV. That could be chaotic to some people. I'm right now, I don't know if you see Kim back here working. You can say hi. We're living with our buddies Kim and Greg. We have 5 dogs. Some people might think that's chaotic. But guys, guess what? It is your situation. So you cannot wait for you to have all of this time before you are successful in your business, because we all have 24 hours in a day. In fact, there's 86,400 seconds ticking away second by second on this call. But if you learn to just manage those distractions throughout the day, that's really 50% of the chaos management battle. So we're going to talk about that tonight. I hope you guys can take some notes, go back and watch the recording, because both Sarah and I at the end of the call are going to share with you some things that have been working for us. Because listen, the first thing that goes into chaos management though is mindset. I have been guilty of it, and I've heard so many people say, I don't have enough time to work this business. And we really do. In fact, one thing that I'm going to talk about a lot tonight when I share my personal story on how I manage the chaos is when I was working full-time and I was in a job for 40 hours plus a commute, I actually was more successful in Plexus than when I quit and had 8, 10, 12 hours a day to work Plexus, because back then I managed my chaos because I had very little time. So I managed it well and I prioritized. Then when I moved into full-time Plexus and I had all the time in the world, I did not manage my time well or my chaos. So we're going to talk about that, because it really, if you feel that way or you have felt overwhelmed, or you feel like maybe you've been on your phone all day but then you have nothing to show for it, and you don't have that clear direction or those clear goals, that's going to lead to more chaos. And then that's going to lead to you feeling guilty throughout your day, and you're going to blame Plexus. Remember on the first call we talked about how Plexus is not our value. Our purpose isn't Plexus. Plexus is the vehicle through which we find that purpose and get that purpose. Well, it's the same when you are on your phone too often, or you're not being productive, or your family says you're not spending enough time with them. It's not Plexus's fault. It's our fault, right? So we're going to talk tonight about how to manage that chaos. And before then, I want you guys to think about a job. If you're working now, I want you to think about your current day job. If you're not working now, maybe you've had a job before, I want you to think about that. Because so many times we let the perception we have in our mind of how our Plexus journey should go, that we get upset or frustrated when it doesn't go as planned. And a lot of times when we talk about goal setting, we talk about goals, we're thinking about ranks, okay? So think about your job. This dawned on me when we were in Hawaii. Did you get a promotion every single year in your job? Probably not. How about every 6 months? I was very fortunate in my previous job. I got lots of promotions. It certainly was not every year. It certainly was not every 6 months. It certainly wasn't every month, right? So we do not want to get upset when that's not happening with Plexus, right? Sometimes we think, oh my goodness, I should be ranking like, I've been doing it for 4 years. I should be all the way at the top by now, right? But would you expect your job to promote you for work you're not doing? Of course not. So we must do the work. And a big part of that chaos management is managing the chaos so we can do the daily habits that will lead to big, big wins down the road. We're going to focus on those daily habits and those daily activities. Again, this is not planning your day into 15-minute increments, right? This is having things that need to be done and giving them the space to get accomplished, and you having the mindset that you are going to do this. You have to be disciplined, all right? And throughout tonight, throughout this whole series, in fact, I'm going to hang it up on the wall here. I want you guys to remember progress, not perfection. You don't have to sit down and message every single potential. You don't have to sit down and reach out to every ambassador on your team, okay? But if you're doing a little bit of work every day and you're messaging and talking to a couple of people, that is progress. Because if we set too big of expectations and we have too big of a list and we don't manage our time well, then we get overwhelmed. Then we feel like a failure because we've not done anything. And then we go into what I call the valley of despair on that roller coaster, right? So this is about progress, not perfection. Those small daily habits are going to lead to big results. And it's where you're going to work every day at your business for your best life. We're not just going to hurry up and work for an iPad and then not do anything, and then hurry up and work for some designer jewelry and then not do anything. We're going to do these daily habits, and Sarah's going to talk a bit about later about things you can do specifically to match your pace with your goal. But, you know, most people have trouble getting the most out of their time because, one, they don't prioritize their must-dos and their should-dos. Or they put too many things on their list to begin with that are neither should-dos or must-dos, right? And maybe there's some things that you should stop doing to get those more important things done. So we're going to talk about that. But I want you guys to think about some questions here first. These are hypotheticals. If you want to chat these, you can. But just I want you to really think about, and here over the next few days, as you're getting yourself together, you're managing your chaos, when you feel like you don't have enough time, what do you think is really going on? Because I'll tell you, I know when I feel like I don't have enough time, I'm actually not being productive because I still have time for Netflix, or I still have time, you know, to organize the pantry during the day when I really should be working my business, right? So what do you think's really going on? And then when you don't get activities done, especially business activities, not personal activities, what are you avoiding? And I'll tell you, when I have done this work, so this is part of our workbook that Sarah and I did at the Align Retreat, I'm avoiding fear of failure and fear of what others think. Because the hard things on my list, the things that make me feel uncomfortable, because guys, remember, Plexus isn't hard, right? It's not hard. We make incredible money for being on our phones. It's uncomfortable, but it's not hard. And I got afraid of being uncomfortable, right? I was afraid to reach out to those dream teamers. And so that's what I would avoid. I would go clean the pantry instead of reaching out to people and do this business with me. So I know what I was avoiding. So what are you avoiding? And then also, do you feel guilty for taking time for yourself, and why? So we're going to talk a lot about a big piece of chaos management is self-care. Often I would find myself having free time and I had to work my business. So guess what? I quit working out. I quit going for walks. I quit doing anything extra because I was like, oh no, I gotta do my business, gotta do my business. No, guys, we're going to show you tonight and throughout the next 90 days, because Sarah and I both have had, I feel like, this awakening. We're going to show you how you can be super effective in your business and super successful and not work it all the time, right? Family time is priority. Personal time is priority. We're going to talk about that. And then also think about what activities do you start and end your day with. And as we go out throughout tonight and we share our tips, please know that everyone's different. You hear a lot of people say, don't pick your phone up as soon as you wake up because then your phone runs your day. But for me, I am most effective and I'm at my peak in the morning. I'm not an afternoon worker and I'm certainly not a nighttime worker. When I was writing my book, my co-author, he would not write chapters with me after 8 o'clock because he's like, your brain turns to mush. You're like slap happy. I do my best work in the morning. So I wake up, have a little bit of alone time, love to have my first cup of coffee, all screen free, then I get right onto my phone for messages because that's when I do my best messaging. So someone may do theirs at a different time of day. So keep that in mind, right? But I want you to think about, what do you start and what do you end your day with? Because that can have a big piece of chaos management. And listen, guys, there are some things that we're going to suggest that you're going to need to change your mindset about, all right? One of those things might be getting up early, and you might think, oh my goodness, no, like part of the thing I love about Plexus and not having to go to an office is because I get to sleep in. Well, listen, no, that may not match up with your chaos management. That may not match up with your goals. That may not match up with your self-care and taking care of yourself. You may need to get up 10 minutes early or 15 minutes early, right? So think about those things. Think about your day as we go out tonight. And I want to know like what you can do to help manage your chaos. We all have the exact same amount of time in a day, and it's just how we manage it, right? Because it's not going to change. We're not going to get less busy. We're not going to get more time. It's how we manage it, okay? One of the biggest pieces of advice I can give that has helped me tremendously, there's about 3 things that I want to talk about before Sarah really gets into the time piece of it. One, I want you to make your workspace, okay? I'm going to give you an example myself. When we first moved in with Kim and Greg, I was kind of working wherever. I was working at the bar, like they had this beautiful island in the kitchen. Sometimes I'd go in the playroom by myself with my laptop. Because the great thing about Plexus is really you can work it from your phone. You can take your laptop anywhere, right? However, that was not me working at my most productive self. And Kim even said, like, you know what? She's like, I work at the bar too. Why are we not using the office? And we realized it's because it was not a space that motivated us. So we came in one Saturday, we cleaned it out. Look, we both love candles, so we set candles up. We're going to get some cute signs to hang up. We got some new pillows just to make it a space that motivates me to do my business and motivates her to come in here and work. You may not have a separate office. You might have a desk in your bedroom. You might be using a closet. You might be using the end of the dining room table. That's fine. Whatever it is, though, you want it to be a space that's motivating to you. So what motivates you? Candles that smell good? Music? For me, I also bought a couple new pairs of pajamas because I realize I work in lounge clothes most of the day. And if I have cute things that I feel good in, then I'm better at my business, right? Because our business, guys, is a reflection of our life. So if our business is messy, it's really because our life is messy and chaotic. So what gets you excited? Think about that. And then the other big one, guys, and I can't do this for you. Sarah couldn't do this for me, right? You have to set your own personal boundaries and you have to keep them. So many times I hear people say, I'm on my phone all the time. Guys, that's not Plexus. That's not the business. That's you not putting your phone down. Or that's you saying, all right, no phones after dinner. But then it's so easy to pick it up like when you're on the, in the bathroom or you walk by it. So keep those boundaries and hold those boundaries. And think about what is it going to take for you? Getting up earlier. Maybe you get up and get the kids off, but then you're going back to bed. So maybe for you, you need to not go back to bed. Maybe you need to stop hitting the snooze button. Maybe you just need to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Mel Robbins, and just wake up and get up out of bed. For me, making my bed was a big piece of my chaos management, and also limiting myself to maybe one Netflix show a night. Like with the family, we all like to do it. We all have bedtime tea. It's like this great ritual we have, and we all watch a show together. But then I go to bed. I don't keep watching a show on my iPad or back in the bedroom, right? So keep in mind and really think about your day. And if you don't know what your day looks like now, keep a log. Think of what you did today, all the time you spent, and really be realistic with yourself. And then, are you saying no? Guys, it's okay to not be the room mom if you have big business goals. It's okay to not host all of the things if it doesn't align with your business goals. It's okay to say no. It's also okay to say no to, one night a week, you're not going to work Plexus at all. That's okay. Just have those boundaries and make sure they match up with your goals. And then, are you qualifying people that have earned your time? Because listen, our time is valuable, especially when we're looking at working this business on the side on top of our careers and our families and our kids and all the things. So the people who hold your space, are you qualifying them? Are they worthy of your time? And, there are no emergencies in Plexus, so it's okay to not answer a message right away. It's okay to not answer messages from sidelines right away. or potentials or even your team, right? You need to qualify people. Are they worthy of your time? Because often those people who take up so much of our time are not the ones we should be actually spending our time on. So these are just some things I want you to think about tonight, these hypotheticals. Keep them in mind. Sarah, though, is going to kick it off here with 11 steps to kind of owning your time, having a life, and then after her, we're going to share specific things that we've been doing that have really made a difference.
Yay. So I think one of the biggest things that has made a huge difference in my life is understanding the concept that there's a difference between time freedom and time flexibility. Because in my head, time freedom, we always talk about that these network marketing gigs can bring time freedom. They do, but not in the sense that we probably all think. It doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want at any point in time at all the time. It truly is about time flexibility. Because if I, make it to Diamond but never work my business again, I'm not going to keep Diamond, So it truly is about time flexibility, figuring out, like owning your time and being the master of what's happening in your life. So we really wanted to help you guys out because this has been something that I've struggled with managing my kids, school, home life, IPA, a large team of over 10,000 people. And how do you kind of do that on a day-to-day basis? Well, step one, I'm going to talk about 11 different steps in this, and you guys just write them down. They're super easy. I'm not going to go too into depth on each one, but the first one is you got to sit and download and plan your week. So you download every single weekend. We use the term download, but what that means is you're writing a list of everything that you have to do for that next week. Like, what are your priorities? What are your non-negotiables in life, in business, in family, just all the things. That week, what does it look like? List form, figure it all out. Do that download. And then you're also going to kind of take that through, because you don't want to wake up reactive every single day, right? So you also want to do, number two, is downloading every single night too. So it's kind of like a rehash. All right, what did I get done today? What do I have to do tomorrow? Is it aligning with what I planned out earlier this week? And I know that sounds like a lot, you guys, but this takes like 10 minutes. This is not a big task, right? So a lot of times we can get ourselves thinking like, oh my gosh, the planning of this all is going to take forever. No, it's not. Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop with the over planning in your head and just write down the list. Katrina, I see your face. So that's the biggest thing, is not overthinking every single time slot on your calendar, just simply writing down your priorities. Number three is meeting with your shareholders. Okay, so what are shareholders? Those are the people that share your space, your house. Those are your kids, your family, your husband, your spouse, whoever that is. Those are the people that you have to answer to on a daily basis. They need to understand what your goals are in this business and what the time is going to look like and what those boundaries are going to be set up. So I also include shareholders in this business as like my close level one leaders and movers and shakers in this business. So when I set up new boundaries in this business, I want them to know those boundaries. I want them to understand what my schedule is going to look like so that there's not disappointment involved. For instance, if I'm telling my shareholders, my family, my level ones, what have you, that I am not going to work this business after 9 o'clock at night, and then I start picking up my phone and answering messages after 9 o'clock at night, that's not being true to my boundaries. That's muddying the water with all of them, that kind of thing. So it's also staying true and having those shareholder meetings, but sticking with the boundaries that you set up that are going to align with the goals. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. Number four, and this is the biggest thing, you guys, is sort that download that you've done by priority. Figure it out, like what is the importance of each task and what is the priority of it, and making sure that you understand every single aspect of that. Like, I'm not going to prioritize something that literally does not, like cleaning out my pantry or something like that, unless there is literally salmonella growing in there that has got to get taken care of. That's not going to be prioritized over making dinner for my family or something like that, right? So that's a silly, silly thing right there, but you guys sitting through and understanding what true priorities are that align with your actual goals and figuring out where those need to fit in your schedule and making them non-negotiable with yourself, and sticking to that schedule. And then number 5 is attaching feelings to these activities. Do each of these activities drain you? Do they excite you? Sometimes, or is it just a neutral thing? Sometimes the things that are priorities in your business might be draining for you. So you need to make sure that you're scheduling those in and not stacking a draining activity on top of a, draining activity. 2 in a row is going to demotivate you, and it's going to make things really difficult to make you want to get done. And now remember, we're not waiting on motivation to come to us. We're taking the reins, we're controlling the chaos, we're controlling our schedule, and we're getting the stuff done. And so I will tell you guys, I am like Amy. I need to wake up. I need to get my stuff done right away that I don't want to do, because then it's out of the way and it's not looming over my head. So contrary to what some people do, I actually schedule the activities that I don't want to do the most first thing, so I cannot procrastinate my way out of them. Like, I literally sit down with my cup of coffee before I do anything else and get that thing done. Okay, that may not work for you guys, but you need to figure out what that looks like for each of you, and you need to understand what your draining activities are and why. Like Amy said, she was avoiding things that hit her fear buttons, right? And so you need to make sure that you're understanding where that is. Number 6 is put everything in its place to calm the chaos in your mind, so your brain can relax. For instance, that whole pantry clean out. If I'm sitting down on Monday and I have my pantry clean out scheduled for Thursday, I know on Monday that's not an excuse to stand up after I've sat down at my desk and I'm doing the draining thing that I don't like. It's not the excuse to be like, you know what, I'm going to go clean the pantry. No, because that's getting done Thursday, right? You have it scheduled out. You have your list of priorities, and everything has its place, so you're aware of when you're going to do it. And set timers and time block. Time blocking has really been a game changer. Repeat number 6 for you. Sorry. Put everything in its place and calm the chaos in your mind. That way your brain can relax. So it's basically putting the stuff actually in the schedule. Does that make sense, Marian? So number 7 is setting timers when you sit down to do these tasks and give yourself a time block. This changed everything for me. This actually gave me time in my day, because I would sit down and I would waste so much time on simple tasks. So many of my team members who have become stay-at-home moms over the course of their Plexus career have actually become worse Plexus ambassadors with the more time that they have had, because you don't maximize your time. And so, and that was me too. When my kids went back to school, there was a brief time where I was like, oh my gosh, I can do all the things, and I did nothing. So that's critical. You guys, if you schedule, you can literally schedule all of your work activity, if you are on like a Ruby pace, into 1 hour a day. And that's a fast pace. Like, that's a lot. You can get a lot of stuff done, right? So and that gives you the whole rest of your day to do whatever the heck you want, get the rest of your stuff done, right? So you really just getting that aspect around that, those timers around it, is life changing. And then number 8, stop avoiding. If you put specific tasks in a time slot, don't exchange it for something else. Like I said, that whole pantry cleaning thing, something that you would rather do, that will not bring you peace at the end of the day. When you go to sit down and do that downloading thing that we talked about on number 2, every single night, and you've avoided all your hard tasks and put them off to the next day, that is not going to bring you peace. That's going to add to stress. That's going to add to the chaos that's going in your head. And then that's also going to, I've been there, it's also going to make you feel like a failure, okay? And you're going to beat yourself up. So the stop avoiding and doing is so critical, but it all boils down to kind of where you schedule it in your schedule. Creating buffer times is number 9. So in case something comes up, something that's critical, you're kid, somebody calls you from school and you got to go pick a kid up or something like that, whatever that looks like for you, create a buffer time. 10 is create family time. You guys, that's so critical. If you are not creating family time and having immense amounts of time to spend with the people that you love the most in this world, you're going to start resenting your business. I don't know about you guys, but I have totally been there. And you don't want to start resenting your business. So never, never, ever feel guilty about working in your family time and working in your work time. Those two are so, so important to have success in either area. And then 11 is creating white space, like legit. You do whatever you want to do. You just sit, you're calm, you're doing whatever things that that bring you joy. So here's the deal. I talk a lot about, so those are the 11 things. I think Amy put them in the chat too. You guys, it is all about time flexibility, not time freedom. Like, I really don't like the term time freedom for us, because in this job, it truly is where the joy comes, and we are paid incredible amounts of money to work these businesses from our phones, you guys. And that flexibility is so key. I do not have to call in sick to work. I do not have to, I can rearrange my schedule at the drop of a hat. And that's what we're all after, right? Is that time flexibility. But we have to continue to work our businesses through the chaos that is life if we want to continue to enjoy the income that comes along with that time flexibility and allows us to have that, right? So the biggest thing that I can say to you guys is don't feel guilty for working and don't feel guilty for not working. The whole point of this time blocking, the whole point of those 11 things is to really take control of your time. Truly take control of your time and understand that I'm not going to feel guilty for sitting down and playing with Carson or watching a movie with him or reading a book with him or spending time with him, because I've already got the other stuff done, or I don't have these things. I'm one that lets things just kind of loom over my head, and I stress about them because I'm like, oh, I really need to go work on the notes for this call tonight, or something along those lines. If I know when I'm going to do it, it's not looming over me. I feel there's just a sense of calm and peace. And that's what truly I want for each and every one of you guys. But through all of that, this is where you've got to have a really honest conversation with yourself. You guys can work this business in the nooks and crannies. You guys can work this business, or you can work this business in the nooks and crannies. Is it ideal? Probably not. It's probably a good thing to know where those nooks and crannies are and what you're going to do in those nooks and crannies to maximize and prioritize what actually needs to get done. Because I can sit down and work for an hour, and it turns out I'm just scrolling Facebook. I'm not actually working. And so making sure that when you do sit down to work, you're knocking it out, that's going to give you a sense of accomplishment too, right? That's going to make you feel really good about what you've just done. And you're going to see the return on that time investment in your business, because you're actually doing the things that bring value to your business. So you've got to sit down, you've got to talk with your shareholders, and you've got to be honest with yourself about your pace. Okay, are you on a diamond pace? Are you on a ruby pace? Are you on a silver pace? Are you on a wholesale pace? All of those things are fine, but it's about the expectations associated with the actual work that you're putting in. So I love Amy actually gave me this example, but Mel Robbins was talking about how, she just beat herself up all the time because she didn't have six-pack abs. Over and over again, she was beating herself up about these six-pack abs that she wanted them so badly. And she felt guilty over it. But when she actually went and researched what it took to have six-pack abs, she's like, well, I'm not doing that. That's not happening. I'm not doing those steps. And so her expectations were like, hey, I'm not going to have six-pack abs because I'm not going to do the things that it takes to get six-pack abs. So I've got to be okay with what I can do and what I'm going to do, and then, how I look and the results. It's the same thing with our business. We're not going to step into our business and expect to get promoted without any work being put into it. If we're not working towards Emerald and working at an Emerald pace, we can't get upset when that result of Emerald doesn't come. Because if we're working at a silver pace and expecting Emerald, there's a, lopsided amount right there. There's a lopsided equation right there. Same with our day jobs, you guys. If you walk into a day job just based on your merits alone and nothing that you've actually done, you may have all the knowledge in your head of how to do this business and what to do and what, the things to do. But if you don't actually do the actions on a daily basis, why would a day job, like a normal 9-to-5 job, ever promote you? Same thing with Plexus. And with Plexus, we have the luxury. In my old jobs, it was kind of arbitrary who got, it was based on politics, who got the raises, who got the promotions, who got the good territories, that kind of thing. In Plexus, we know exactly what we have to do to hit it. We know the amount of people that it takes to get to the next rank. We know the things that it takes to make that promotion happen. Now, where the uncertainty is how much activity is going to yield those results. And so that's where you have to spend your time understanding, okay, what pace am I going to work? Success loves speed. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what I view as a diamond pace versus a ruby pace and a gold pace, so you guys kind of have an understanding of what that actually looks like, okay? So for me, diamond pace, and I didn't model necessarily this time blocking and this chaos management when I was going for diamond. And so I feel like I did the team a disservice because I worked all the time and I didn't need to, okay? So that's where diamond pace, this time blocking, effective time management, and boundaries is really, really gonna come into play to give you a good work-life balance to actually model time flexibility and time freedom to your team. But what it boils down to for a diamond pace is, 1, how many people you're reaching out to every single day. 2, how many touches you're having individually with your team on a daily basis, because obviously you need to take care of your team and customers, right? And then 3, your personal growth. So 1, 5 to 10 reach outs a day, 5 to 10 touches a day with prospects. Okay, that seems like a lot, but once you start getting in that mode, I'm not talking cold calls, I'm talking touches, like things that are putting you in front of different people every single day, 5 to 10 per day, okay? Same with the number of people that you're, as your team, you might be sitting there going, I want to work diamond pace, but I have a silver team right now. You guys, that's okay. So obviously you're not going to have 5 to 10 people on your team to reach out to a day, right? Because you don't have 10 people on your team. But as your reach outs continue to work with themselves, your team's going to grow, and you're going to be needing to work within that pace of touches to your team, 5 to 10 people a day. Just loving on them and caring and checking in on them and doing and chatting with them, what have you. That's a really critical piece to growing a team. And then the other thing is that I believe is so critical is personal development. If you are not growing, you're not going to grow. And so that needs to happen on a daily, ongoing basis. So those things are huge. And of course, within that, there's all that follow-up. There's the cold, reach outs and that kind of thing. I'm just talking basic touches daily, okay? That's daily. Now, Ruby pace, you're going to dial that back a bit, and we're talking 3 to 5 on that reach outs, okay? So you are going at a little bit like more of a medium pace, that kind of thing. That's more of a Ruby pace. You're going to take a little bit longer to get to diamonds, that kind of thing. And then gold pace is 3 to 5 reach outs per week, okay? So that's where we're dialing it back, and you're taking a much slower pace to hit gold. Because if you think about it, you guys, if you're sitting there on a pace that's going crazy, yeah, no more posting and praying. Yeah, this is not about posting and praying. You guys, do you know how many people are on, and I'm not meaning to single out that comment, Katrina, but it's critical for people to understand, is that they see network marketing every single day. You guys, they're not buying because you made an awesome post. They're buying because they have your relationship with you. If you're not talking to anybody on a true, authentic basis and really connecting with people, you can do that through marketing. You can do that through posts and stuff. But this is a connection. It's all about connection. We cannot sit behind our computers every single day at home and expect to build a diamond business. You got to get out there in life and really, truly live your life and talk. So when I'm saying diamond pace, I'm not necessarily sitting here say this is my computer, sitting behind my computer, typing away every single day during my IPA hours, I am living life, because that is not attractive. People join network marketing to get away from 9-to-5 jobs, to get away from the office environment. You guys model that behavior. Get out there and live your life and be social. So this is a social business. And yes, you can be like Trisha Rieger and a whole bunch of other diamonds that have built their business from their computer, but they have also incorporated their lives and that aspect of their life, because they lived in the middle of nowhere and didn't have the access to everybody. Those are one-off situations, okay? But if you live in a place like Houston, if you live in a large city, if you live in any sort of a town, you need to get out and meet the people that are around you, and then use network marketing, social media to your advantage, and leverage that to create more connections and touches. But that just posting up those posts, that doesn't go into Diamond Pace. That's a non-negotiable. That is just a daily thing, right? This is Diamond Pace, Ruby Pace, Gold Pace is talking to people. It is building connections. So, like I said, success loves speed. I don't even know if I hit all my points that I was going to say, but it is so critical to just be social and to talk to people and be intentional about building those relationships. Amy, did you want to talk a little bit about the changes that you have made that have, what that looks like for you?
Yeah, so this is perfect timing when you were talking about getting out from behind your computer, because I realized I have just been sitting at home all day and not getting out and meeting people, and it's so easy to do. So I am being intentional now with my schedule, and let me tell you what is working for me, okay? So I did this last night on Sunday, even though I was tired from the overnight flight and the time change. But my office is now a space, because I've created it as such a space that I want to come in here and I want to do my Sunday night planning. So when we talk about the brain dump or the download, I'm going to take you through what I do, and I'm going to share with you my Plexus schedule that's pretty new. So I did a brain dump. I literally, on a piece of paper, wrote down everything that needs done so it's out of my head. And I mean everything, from paying a bill to making a hair appointment to organizing the playroom, like everything that needs done, personal, business, family, right? We're living now with Kim and Greg, so we call it our family, our friend family, but we have stuff. So all of this goes down, okay? And then I realized, guys, that planners don't actually work for me anymore. Like a paper planner, as much as I love them and they're so pretty and I have the stickers and I love you guys know, Sarah teases me all the time that I love my color-coded pens. A planner wasn't working for me. I'm always on the go, so I'm looking at my calendar in my phone, and I wasn't taking a physical planner with me, but I still need to have my day somewhere where I can write it out, okay? So I have my brain dump. I set that aside. Then I got online and found a free downloadable calendar by week that is has the times on it, and I'm gonna show it to you, and I'm gonna post the file with the recording of the call. But so on Sunday night, I print out this blank calendar for the upcoming week, and it just looks like this. Let me see. I don't know if you can see it. But now again, I'm not scheduling this to the 15, the 10, the 30-minute increments, right? But there are some things that I am time blocking. Like I know every day from 7 to 9 is out for me, because that's when I have to get my kiddo up and I'm driving her to school every day. I'm back to the commuting life. So I sit down and I time block everything out that I know is not time that I can control, right? Got to take her to school, got to pick her up, got to allow for traffic, so that automatically gets taken off of my list, okay? Then I put things on here like tonight's Monday masterclass that is a priority that I absolutely will not miss. And these are things I've already talked to the family about. They know I have my Monday night call. That goes on the calendar, okay? And now, listen, if this is not something you've done before, or if you're like me and you think, oh, I have time, like I don't need to do this. It might seem dumb to schedule workouts. I used to think it was dumb to schedule a date night. Like, who needs to do that? It may even be dumb to you to schedule quiet time for yourself. But guess what? I wasn't doing it by not scheduling it. So I had nothing to lose by actually writing it down and see if that worked. And it has been working. So then I schedule maybe any appointments I have. I schedule workout time. And then I schedule my plexus time. And I just do a big chunk. And so like Thursday from 10 to 2, I'm going to do plexus. All right. That's my chunk. Now I know what I have to get done within that time based on my pace. But what I started doing, guys, because I'm home all day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the day is plexus. Tuesday and Thursday, I'm not working plexus. You guys are going to be like, oh, what? I am getting out of the house. I'm going to get out of the house. It's going to be used for networking lunches. If I meet with Sarah, if I meet with other team members or people who don't have anything to do with plexus, it's when I'm going to run errands. I'm going to go shopping. I may take, there's a yoga class at my kid's school that's going to start for parents. That's going to be growing my network, not sitting here in front of my laptop working my business. Those days are going to be out in the community, making new friends, meeting new people, whatever that looks like. I'm reserving that space. And then I'm not going to feel guilty for not cramming plexus time into those days, right? My big thing now is that my family sees me work and I'm not ashamed of it anymore because I've had those conversations. I'm time blocking. And really when I am not working plexus, like on Monday nights after this call, I shut my laptop, I put my phone down and I won't pick it up until the next morning, the next mid-morning, okay? So really take your schedule, right? Then what I do, and here's what I love about this, guys. Sarah and I, a lot of people think we share a brain, but we actually could not be more different when it comes to many things. This is one of them. I like to take my list of everything I have to do for the week. I highlight the priorities, and then I write next to when I'm going to get it all done, what day, and then I put it on my calendar. And then that way, like Sarah said, if I want to organize the pantry and I have it on Thursday, I'm not going to worry about it on Monday. I'm not going to skip something that I scheduled to do on Monday to organize the pantry. A big piece of chaos management is being accountable to yourself. Don't let yourself off the hook, right? We all have this time. You have to be disciplined. The other thing I did, and I did steal this from Sarah, so planners don't work. I print one of these out every Sunday. That's got my week on it, personal, business, everything, the whole brain dump. Have my list. And then I only have 2 other things now. I have a notebook, and this notebook I keep everything in, everything, potentials, brain dump, team, those who've ranked, those who I'm working with in my inner circle, like everything. Then I like to be able to see in my office what's happening this month. So I'm going to turn it around. You may see Kim here working. I bought this. Hi, Kim. I bought this. Sarah has one. Right now, I haven't filled it out because I just got it and Adelaide drew a dragon on it. But I got that from Hobby Lobby after Sarah posted. I was like, that's what I need. So the stuff I'm going to put up here are things I need to be looking at that month. So if you're on my team, arms and you want to work this business, guess what? Your name's going on that list. So I see you every day. I'm reminded every day. If I have some potentials, like maybe my top 10 dream teamers or potentials I'm working with, guess what? Their names are going on there. So I see their names every single day. And just seeing it motivates me to do more work. Yeah, Katrina, I'll take a picture of it and I'll post it and I'll share it. And I even have, because I asked Sarah, I was like, can you tell me what you put on your board? And she's got a couple things that aren't going to work for me, but a couple things that did. So I'll definitely share that. If you do go to buy it, make sure you get the Hobby Lobby coupon, 40% off. So it's like $15. Don't buy it full price, okay? So that's what I do. My brain dump is on Sunday night, and then my week goes so much better. I feel so much more productive. I literally, Kim was home last night. I probably took maybe 15 minutes to come in here. They were all out there. I just came in here 15 minutes, brain dumped it all, put it all on my calendar, and boom, feel so much more productive for the week. So that is what has been helping with my chaos management. But again, I want to just reiterate, you have to hold yourself accountable, because it looks great me even having it on a calendar, but if I woke up today and didn't do any of this, then it was a waste of time.
Totally agree. And so I obviously I've always been one that's a little bit more, or I should say less planned than Amy. You know, I don't like the lists and the things, but I will say that switching over and forcing myself to do this has massively reduced my stress level. And so even though it's one of those like you say these definitions about
the
yourself.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. And then it doesn't work, right? And so I have felt a heck of a lot less stress. I have felt a lot less guilt over the things I should be doing versus not, because now everything kind of has a place, right? And so the biggest thing that I have started doing is that whiteboard that we're talking about, and I will post, we're getting a little long on the call, so I'll post what I put on my whiteboard when I post the call recording. And it, like she said, it's at Hobby Lobby. Then on the 15th of every month, I'm planning out my entire month, the big things beforehand. So that happens the 15th. Like we already know everything that's going to be happening next month. So that's huge. So then every Sunday, like she said, I just fill in my schedule. And I actually am using a planner right now because that is working for me. I know. So I am using the planner, and every single day I sit down. I take Thursdays off. I don't know if anybody's even noticed that, but I'll schedule ahead. I don't think there's anything wrong with scheduling your posts out, you guys. You do not have to be physically behind a computer at that specific time scheduling your posts. It's just maximizing your time. I don't need to be by my computer at 8 a.m., 10 p.m., or whatever times I post in Team Taylor. I think it's absolutely brilliant that that Facebook lets us schedule posts. So I take care of all of that, all the big posts on Sunday nights. And so it frees up massively my schedule to just do the things that are important during that day. I take every Thursday off, and that is a day to myself, doing what I want, doing what I need to do, or just doing literally nothing at all, whatever brings me joy. I look forward to that day off in the middle of the week so much because I know I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, take Thursday off, kick it into high gear on Fridays, and then Saturdays and Sundays as needed. I rarely work on Sundays. That's truly my family day, except for Sunday nights. And so I no longer feel guilty about that because I've already planned my whole weekend out in advance. It's not in 15-minute increments. It's by priorities, and it's by large amounts of time. So what I mean by that, I work out in the mornings, and so that is part of my schedule every single morning. Working out in the mornings after school drop off, or just when I wake up. 10 to 1 is when I do Plexus. But on the days that I'm working, 10 to 1 is when I do Plexus. So that's when I write notes for this call. That's when I do the things that need to get done, answer messages, what have you. And so within that time frame, like Amy said, I have those priorities done. That's it. And then I'm doing my reach outs, all that kind of stuff within that time frame. And then I put my phone down after 9 o'clock at night. I used to not do that, and I feel like that increased my stress level so much, to be sitting in bed answering messages, stressing about somebody going through die-off, at midnight. Like, no, that's not okay, right? We don't need to be doing that. And so I can tackle that 10 a.m. the next day just fine. And if I don't get to it, I don't get to it. But like, I've had to put up strict boundaries on my time because I'm a workaholic otherwise, and it will just take over my entire life because I'm passionate about Plexus. And this has increased my family time, or my family dynamic, so much. It has helped so many things. So I just encourage you guys, even if you're not a planner like I was, and I'm still really just not, but this works within my business, and it has really, I fell in love with my business again when I started doing this, and I was resenting it for a bit there, and I hate to admit that on a recorded call, but it's the darn truth. Yeah. And I think that any business, even if we love it or not, we can start to resent it if we're doing it at all hours of the day to the sacrifice of the things we truly love in life. So
yeah, and we can be so much more productive in way less time, guys, if we're more focused like this. And I want to say that she really does stick to her boundaries. It's funny, though, because, her and I have kind of we've always been really good friends, but we've kind of power partnered up again, right? We both fell in love with our business, so Sarah and I are both locking arms. But guess what? We meet on the 15th of every month. That's her and I, we put it on our calendars. But if that happens to be a Thursday, I know that's not going to happen. We're going to have to meet on the 14th or the 16th of that month, right? And I'm glad you mentioned the post. So one thing I do, I started doing on the back of my weekly calendar, and I keep this sitting out so I can see it. I write the posts I want to make. Today, first day of fall, pumpkin spice, done. And so I write the posts I want to make. I got a couple lives I want to do this week. And then here are some Zooms, and you may see your names on there, that I want to do this week. So, or some calls. So I write all of that down just on the back of my weekly so that I don't have to think about it. Like you said, I don't have to think about what I'm going to post. I don't think about what I'm going to share. So we'll share all of this. I don't know, Sarah, if you have anything else, but guys, do you have any questions? Now, we are going to get into, there were some questions I know about building your business, what to say, who you're talking to. We're going to get into recruiting and onboarding and all of that later. Do you have any questions about the chaos management? Maybe we can go ahead and stop the recording.
Yeah. I'm going to stop. So the Wednesday's Lunch and Learn, before I hit stop recording, Wednesday's Lunch and Learn is going to be, rank makers, basically, like how to plan for rank up, the steps to do, helping you guys just figure out, okay, 90 days from now, how can I rank? Or how can I get back to my rank? Like wherever you're at in your business, right? So 90 days from now, how can I advance my business? So we're going to talk to you guys at lunch on Wednesdays. We always record, but we'll be doing that. So just keep your eyes out for that. I am going to stop the recording.